Matthew?
Sure. Thanks a lot. Matthew Lee, Inner City Press, on behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access. Thanks for this briefing, as always. I want to actually ask about that camp, or about the issue between the Dominican Republic and Haiti. I mean, not to you called them migrant workers, but I've seen, are these people repatriated from the Dominican Republic? And if so, is there any indication of how long they were in the Dominican Republic? Because it doesn't seem that the government is only repatriating people that were there. You know, I guess, I don't know what migrant worker means, but if you can say more about, and if IOM is running the camp, and I guess if you're aware, what the UN system is doing on this issue of a mass repatriation or significant repatriation to a country where many people say the UN inadvertently introduced cholera into. Like, what's the status of the UN's efforts to at least stop the cholera, if not make it up to people whose breadwinner died from the disease?
Thank you. On cholera, that's why I highlighted. I mean, we have to be very concerned about the direction with more cases last year than the year before, because this is a reversal of a positive trend where we were on course towards zero cases. It's a stubborn problem, and it's a very big challenge. And I'm coming back here with a clear message that unless we redouble our efforts, we're going to see this increase continue. I'm very worried about what I heard from some of our leading donors, and that goes to an earlier question about what is the impact on these countries because of other crises. This is a classic case. Haiti is a place where we're hearing from major donors that they're having to cut back on the resources. Well, we have to really focus on what that cutback means. In particular, our response capacity for cholera. And if we don't have a response capacity for cholera, then we inevitably know that the numbers can go up alarmingly quickly and very significantly. So that is a big concern that I have taken away from my mission there last week, that we have to mobilize more resources quickly for cholera. On the issue of the expulsion, also the people have been expelled from the Dominican Republic. Officially, 16,000 were deported, and the estimates are that up to 113,000 have left. I'm reluctant to say voluntarily, because there's a circumstance created where they felt compelled to leave. I mean, they were in the Dominican Republic voluntarily. There are issues around the documentation, which are being worked through. There's a deadline for resolving these documentation issues in September. I met actually the country team I crossed over into the Dominican Republic to get the type of answers that you're asking, which is, what are we doing as a United Nations system on that side of this issue? So you can see the effect of the issue on the Haitian side, which is pretty appalling for the people caught up in this. And then on the other side, in the Dominican Republic, the United Nations team there walked through the efforts that they're making. Very much, I was very impressed by the human rights representative in particular, on, again, ensuring that there is a human rights-based approach to this endeavour. I mean, the Dominican Republic have a sovereign right about who can live in their country, but then there are disputes about a legitimate dispute about the status of many of these people in terms of their citizenship and their rights to be there. So it's a big issue. It's a legal issue, but it's a humanitarian issue, and we are appealing for a humanitarian approach to resolving what are legitimate legal issues that the Dominican authorities have, and reminding everybody of the human consequence of what happens to people when they're expelled into such an impoverished situation as exists in Haiti.